All right, so I got a new product here from a lighting company. I believe they're called Lumary. And this is a smart ceiling fan. So obviously ceiling fan function, but it's got a smart lights, so it does like different color temperatures, and you can change LED lights and patterns, and it's voice controlled, etc. Talk about that here in a second, but yeah, I'm gonna finally get rid of my old fan here. It's like 20 years old, with something nice and modern. So you can see it's 2800 lumens and 18 inches. It's not super big. So it comes in at 35 watts. Not super bright, but it'll be better than no lights at all. And then 15 watts for the fan and 6 speeds. And here's some of the info in the back. It's got app dimming, 16 million colors. Smartphone app support, timing, CRI at greater than 80. Interesting is voice control, group control, music sync, and of course the fan direction can go forward or reverse, depends on whether it's winter time or summertime. All right, let's get everything out of the box. All right, so this is what we get in the box. Get the remote holder, get a user guide, some mounting hardware, and here's the top side of the ceiling fan. And here's where it mounts into the ceiling. And you've got your mounting plate here. It looks like it is tethered to this. It's not lost, I guess. I'll have to read the manual and figure out how to put this together. And then first we gotta take the old ceiling fan down. All right, so I took off the old ceiling fan. That was not very interesting. Standard junction box here. You got your ground, neutral, and hot wires. And then there's the ground wire here on the mounting plate here. To the ground over here, and mount the mounting plate to the ceiling, and then the fan will just mount to the mounting plate. So pretty straightforward. Okay, so you can see successfully installed. When you first power it on, the light kind of goes on and off, and that means it's in the Wi-Fi pairing mode. But then after about 5 minutes, it turns solid here, so it looks like it only attempts to pair with your Wi-Fi for a certain amount of time. But then you can just turn the light switch on and off, or power the fan on and off 3 times, and then that'll force it into the Wi-Fi pairing mode. And in the manual, it does talk about installing the app and then connecting it to your network, and it only connects to 2.4 gigahertz network. So if your Wi-Fi is only 5 gigahertz, this Wi-Fi stuff won't work for you. But just do a quick look at the remote here. So pretty basic, on and off here, fan on and off, 6 speed levels for your fan speed. You can reverse your fan direction with that button there. This turns the white light on and off. So there's a white light, and then there's an RGB light, and you turn that on and off. You can control your brightness here for your white light, color temperature here, and this is your RGB mode and color for this button here. And then you have your countdown timers here, 1 hour and 4 hours for those buttons. So pretty basic here. So use the remote here. You can turn the light off and on. You can turn on the RGB light. And let's change the color temperature. So if you want to be more natural colored, it's not really coming out on camera too well, but it's more warm now versus cool. Yeah, it's more cool. Let's see here. Change your RGB color, yellow, green, blue. Let's see, change your mode. Got some rainbow stuff going on here, pretty cool. Yeah, so different RGB modes. You can turn off the white light, just go with the RGB colors, or you can just turn off the light, all the lights altogether, and then you can control your fan speed. Get a little beep, and then the speed increases. And even though the fan's only 18 inches, it's actually producing a fair amount of wind, even on just speed 3. So I'm pretty happy about that. All right, so at this point, I'm going to go ahead and download the Lumary app from the Play Store, connect it to my Wi-Fi, and then we'll talk about how the smartphone app controls the fan. Of course, it's going to be the same functions as the remote, but maybe there's a little bit of extra stuff there. We'll see. All right, so a little bit of trouble getting the app to find the ceiling fan, and I had to enable nearby devices in my Bluetooth settings, and that finally allowed me to connect to the ceiling fan. So everything works now. So we'll go ahead and we'll turn on the ceiling fan. Got light there, looking good. And let's go into the app here. So we can control our white light here, turn it on, turn it off. Let's turn it back on again. Control our color temperature here. So it's nice and cool, but if you want to go warm, boom, just like that. So it's a lot faster than the remote. And then you can control your brightness here, reduce that very fast here. And then there's some presets down below. So you can adjust your color temperature really quickly like that. So we'll go ahead and turn off the white light. Let's turn on the color. Let's turn that on. All right. Then we can pick our color here. So if you want green, yeah, the RGB color isn't as bright as I thought it would be. The white lights are much brighter. If you pick our presets here, red, green, blue, so that's very quick. So we go purple. Okay, let's turn that off. Then you have this thing called scene. So this is probably some preset color changes. Let's go and turn that on. Okay, so let's turn off the white light there. Let's go to scene. Yeah, so these are some preset, pre-programmed color schemes. And let's see what this one is. Okay, yellow, blue, purple. So we've got a bunch of them, 5, 6, whole bunch of different ones here. How many do we have? Wow, a lot. 20, oh goodness. 34, colorful anti-clock rainbow. So tons here. And this is just under the basic setting, I guess, and there's water. Colorful clockwise water. So there's a ton of different color scenes here. There's meteor. Okay, that's interesting. So the color dances around and it changes from green and goes around in a circle. Interesting. Let's see here. Well, how many of these are there? Well, not that many of these. 16, 17, yellow, blue, purple, clockwise. Okay, so very interesting. Lots of different ones. You could probably spend hours playing around with this. Now down here you can adjust your speed. So if you want to go faster. Oh, that's much faster. Ooh, that's pretty cool. So if you're into RGB lights, you can go totally nuts on this one. All right, so we have on the bottom here, let's see here, we have your, you have a light, you have music. Okay, so light functions, music functions, maybe, I don't know. Here you can control your ceiling fan. Okay, so fan beep, you can turn that fan beep on and off, and there's also fan shake. Okay, I heard that that's not actually working, so it looks like that's disabled. But if you don't want the beep, you can turn that off. There's different modes, fresh, and yeah, that doesn't seem to do anything. There's forward and reverse. That doesn't seem to work on the fan. So I guess we have to turn the fan on, maybe. All right, let's turn the fan on. Okay, so we got a beep. There we go. Now maybe these functions are enabled. So it's on level 6 there. Let me turn it down. Down to level 2. There we go. And then there's these modes. So then that's on fresh, and then there's nature. I'm not sure what the difference is there. Okay, I see. With fresh is just like a constant speed, and then nature seems like it's more of a variable speed. So it's kind of like it slows down and speeds up within that speed range. So I guess it feels a little bit more natural. Okay, and then there's also forward and reverse. I think reverse might be good for when, like probably now you want the wind to come down, that's forward, and reverse forces the air to go up. And that might be better in the winter when you want you want to pull push the hot air up and then down, away from the ceiling instead of the other way around. So it kind of depends on what you're looking for, but it's summertime here, so we'll go back to forward. Yeah, not really sure what fan shake does. And the manual says it's not supportive. It doesn't seem to do anything. And if you don't want the beep, you can just turn that off. So then you'll get an indicator if anything has changed. So I'm going to leave that on for me. All right, so we got it's got some additional settings here on the far bottom right. Countdown. I think that's probably it's a timer to turn the fan. So if you want to go to sleep with the fan on and then have it turn off at a certain time, you could put that in there and then it'll turn off at your designated time. So pretty nice there. So the app is definitely going to be better for if you want to fine tune your settings versus the remote, although you can do pretty much everything with the remote as well. Cloud timer. Okay, so you can actually add a schedule here. That's pretty interesting. Switch gradient. So I guess you can have the lights turn on and off at a gradual pace if you don't want it to be as abrupt. Light strip line order. Okay, so there's definitely a lot of things here that you can fine tune in terms of the LEDs. Probably investigate that later, but honestly, I just probably pick a pre-programmed one. There's like many of those. Power on behavior, and then you have a not disturb switch here. So after turning on the do not disturb mode, when the power is turned on after power failure, the lamp will not be disturbed. When the lamp is suddenly turned on, it needs to be switched on and off twice within 5 seconds to normally turn on the lamp. Okay, I'm probably going to leave that off. Okay, so I believe that is everything here. So there's definitely a lot of things you can change in this particular ceiling, and I believe you can also add this to your Google Assistant or your Alexa. Yeah, so over here under your account settings, you can, let's say for example, add to your Google Assistant, and then link with Google Assistant here, and it'll go into your Google Home app, and it'll add that. So let's see, it should show up under devices here. Yeah, I think I'll look into that a little bit later. I think it's going to require adding some stuff on my Google account, but pretty sure I'm not going to be using the voice control for the fan. I can just use the remote to turn it on and off. That would be probably a lot faster than using the voice control anyway. Anyway, I think that's going to cover for this video. Pretty long, actually. It was longer than expected, but it's an interesting fan. It's got a lot of functions and features. So for the modern age, you got some pretty cool stuff. You can replace your old ceiling fan with something nice and modern with a lot of bells and whistles, and doesn't cost a whole lot. I think it's about $150, I believe, with the coupons on Amazon. So the link will be down in the video description if you guys want to check it out. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. I really appreciate that. That'll do it for this one. Talk to you guys in the next video.